Are we on? Welcome, everybody. This is Genx Gentlemen. And I'd like to introduce you to a series that we have because we're going to have different segments. This is called Candid Conversation.
Number 1.
Episode 1. So it's going to be sort of a freestyle thing we do. It's everything off the top of the dome. But before we get started, I'd like for everybody to hit the like button or the dislike. Either way it goes. We want you all to be actively involved. So we start doing live air callers or call-ins, I should say. So please subscribe, hit the like button, and I promise you're going to enjoy it. I'm Tel. This is JB.
That's me.
And let's get started with episode 1 of Candid Conversations. Well, listen, JB, I'm hearing so much stuff. My mind is so...
What you got? What you got, Tel? What you got, man? I want to hear this, bruh. What you got?
My mind is blowing up. I think it's just right on time that we do this podcast.
Uh-huh.
Brother Kevin Samuels is passed on, even though I wasn't in agreement with some of the things he said or his style. I still can say 75% of his content when it came to Black relationships in Black America, or just relationships in America, period, with men and women.
Right.
I would have to say I was 75 to 80% in agreement with that stuff. And he'll be truly missed. And like in the Manosphere and other people who are bringing up this discussion of how traumatic, how detrimental it is that we repair our relationships in the Black community and in the American community, period.
Right.
We're getting to the root of all these things. All these things are coming up uncovered now. Kevin helped start those conversations. I've had these thoughts and conversations way before. I just didn't have a vehicle or an avenue to speak on them and the right people to speak with. Since you and I have joined forces and became very well acquainted, now have a friendship, somebody who's more relatable, I can now feel confident expressing my thoughts. So,
okay, well, I'm ready to hear. I'm ready to hear it. Come on,
okay,
call with it, bro.
There's one of the podcasts or YouTube channels that I watch. Shout out to Hannah. She goes by her pseudonym Pearl, or maybe that's her middle name, or Just Pearly Things. She's had a lot of hot topics. She's American, but she's based out of the UK in London. I think she's going to school over there. So I just recently watched, in the last half an hour, the first 15 minutes of a really steamy topic called The Entanglement or the Entangled Alpha Widow. And the backdrop on that is that it's based on the alpha widow and the man she can't get over, the one she can't get over.
Okay.
Well, so this might be a little...
What's the story?
Well, this might be a little unclear for some people, but basically, the gist of it is that women and men are not the same. We never will be the same. We never were the same. And the modern woman thinks that she can do everything a man can do. And the ultra delusional ones think they can do better. None of that is true.
Better than men?
Yes. Okay. Some things they think that's the ones that are ultra delusional. Basically, the alpha widow is a woman who is pretty much average, and she's not going to accept it because her delusional standards, like most of the modern Americanized or Westernized women, is that they want to date up, hypergamy.
Right.
So they seek the alpha high value man. Now, what happens is a lot of times these guys, because we as men, we like variety. So even those, if you and I are two multimillionaires, we know that we'd have women coming at us out the woodwork, a high percentage, not all, but
Right.
a very high percentage of women, as opposed to just being average working men. Men are not judged by their looks like women are judged by their looks.
Okay.
Women judge us for the most part. Well, let me interject. There are a certain segment of Black women, westernized American modern Black women, that want everything from a Black man. You got to be good looking, 6 feet tall, 6-pack, 6-figure plus income, all of that.
The big four, right?
Yeah.
The big four, right? The six.
Yeah.
What is it? 6-pack, 6 figures. 6-pack, 6 figures, 6 feet,
Mm-hmm.
and 6
inches.
6
or more.
or more.
Uh-oh.
Where'd you go?
Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that.
Uh-huh.
Or more. Yeah, that's the mindset.
That's what we call the 4 6s. The 4 6s, right?
We could keep it to 3 6s.
Nah, I don't want. Let's not go there yet. We'll decide on how that's gonna go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is, men, we like variety. Most men.
Right.
Okay. And sometimes a guy who's had his pick of so many 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s, even 8s, 9s, and 10s, sometimes they'll slide off. They want, on a Friday night, they don't want to be bothered with the high maintenance pretty girl. They just want a fine ass piece that they can just get, smack it up, and they can go to like a couple of times a month, once or twice a month. And the one that's not going to be demanding of him as much, because she knows she's not on his level and she's just happy to be in his grace.
Right.
But what happens is, with this modern mindset, with this social media that's been blowing up in the last 5-6 years, and it's been making women delusional, thinking that it's been making 3s and 4s think they're 6s and 7s, and making 4s and making 5s and 6s think they're 8s, 9s, and 10s.
Right.
They're delusional. And especially if it's rich guys who want to have the little pieces they can mess with and stuff, they'll have them flued out, as they like to say, flued out, and pay. And these women think they get the big ego. Now, this nigga flying me out here to Dubai. He's flying me out here to Miami to meet him. You know what that's about? Smashing, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But that's all these women need. If it's a high value or a high earning dude, athlete, celebrity, or your average businessman making 6 figures or more,
right?
Their egos are overinflated. Oh, now I'm desired. Now he likes me. And don't let it be that one of these guys that get their hands on these fine ass average looking or below average looking in the face women and turns her out. Because a lot of times we as men, we have fetishes. We like to get the fine one we can be dirty with, you know, and just downright freaky fantasies, and end up she gets turned out bad and thinking that she's in love and that you must love her.
She catch the feelings.
Yeah, because that's women. They're emotional, they're in their feelings most, unless you're some kind of whore or a prostitute or something like that. A woman's gonna catch feelings. And if you're the guy that's on that level, she's already fantasized, oh my God, yeah, he's this rich dude or this dude that's making bank, and he smashes me at least twice a month. Because we're in different cities, he flies me out, so that makes her ego even bigger, that I must be special. I gotta be special. Right? So then until they become the alpha widow. Because these women, they're gonna have that one, maybe sometimes two guy, second guy, who smash them better than the average guys that they have access to all the time.
Right.
They become delusional. But time is undefeated. Once they hit 30 plus, and then that guy doesn't contact him anymore. He was just running through her for like a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done with her. Men who have money can do that. You're disposable.
Right.
These women are left for the streets. Or some of them just try to say, okay, let me go to the good guys who have been chasing me all this time, regardless of how they look, because he's an under earner to them, under six figures, regular, everyday dude. But they want to be with somebody. They want to have a family.
Right.
Here's the part. Mentally, she's already been stimulated and freaked out by the guy that she's been physically attracted to. Financially, her ego has gone haywire because this guy's been making big bank, showing her things that she would never see from most men in her life. And that also is part of the factor that gets them sexually stimulated. So once they 5-6 years down the line and they don't have those options no more, because they've actually played themselves out the game, because all they kept doing is trying to chase that alpha male, high value man. And they realize those guys are just, they're not with it. They might get dogged out by a couple of others, but they don't want to dog themselves out too much. So they're like, you know what, I need to settle down with a good man because these dudes are just dogging me out, or he mistreated me that one that rocked her world. Okay. So case in point, getting back to Pearl, a woman who has this terminal illness. I don't know her age exactly because I didn't watch the entire content, but I got the gist of it within that first, 15 minutes or whatever.
Right.
And the woman makes a request because her illness is so bad that she has approximately about a year or so to live, maybe a little longer.
Wow.
And she has, so I would, by judging what her request is, I would say she's probably in her late 40s or between her 40s and 50s. Okay. She has a request from her husband. The doctor lets the husband know that your wife, be prepared. It's going to be roughly 4 to 6 months. She's going to be required to be in a wheelchair. She won't be able to walk well anymore, or at all. Then all these other conditions are going to start ensuing after. It's just debilitating.
Now you don't know what the disease is, right? It sounds like ALS. It sounds like ALS.
It may be. I didn't know because I didn't listen long enough.
Right.
But it just triggered me immediately once I heard what her request was, her dying request.
And what was that?
She asked her husband if he would allow her, before she dies, to sleep with her ex. She wants to have sex with her ex one last time.
Wow. Her ex, is this an ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, ex-what?
Maybe an ex-boy, maybe in her mind, an ex-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. It could be an ex-boyfriend or it could be just an ex-fling that rocked her world.
Wow.
Can you imagine, though? I don't know how long she and the husband were married, but can you imagine? We as men, we sacrifice our life. We work hard to protect and provide for the women the woman we choose to marry, much as the women we date.
Right.
Seriously. And can you imagine hearing that come out your wife's mouth, her last dying request?
No. Yeah. That's, I don't know. It's kind of, wow. Her dying request. Go
have sex with her ex one last time. Think about that. Think about that. After you pouring out your heart, you've given so much to this woman, and that's her dying request.
Wow.
What would your reaction be?
Of course, you'd be hurt, devastated. The whole nine. The fact that you only got so many months to live, and that's your final request. It ain't like to go to the top of the Mount Kilimanjaro, or to go skydiving, to go bungee jumping, whatever that is. It's to go smash your ex. Wow.
That to me is spit in the face.
I mean, I guess if you figure that if she's requesting something, she's not gonna live, and just imagine though, she would have to approach this ex and let him know that this is the case, and But what about the ex? Would he do that? You know what I'm saying? It might be her dying request, but would he? Would he would he be the one to actually fulfill it?
Okay, well, here's my point, and my question, my point is that even relevant?
It's not even relevant, but I'm saying like the relevancy of it is what she said. This is something that she wants, right? Her dying request. Of course, if it was me, I'd be devastated. Absolutely, right? But it's more so, what if the dude, the ex, says no?
I could care less. You're saying what if the ex says no? It's not even relevant to even get that far with it, in my opinion.
Okay.
Now, to some simp ass sucking dude,
Right.
maybe, but I'm not even giving that a thought. I would be like, I'd have to take 5 minutes to process it all.
Right.
But I know immediately in my mind is, bitch, I took care of you all these years. I sacrificed to make you the one, the main one.
Do you know how
my
long
loyalty goes?
Do you know
and when
how
I
long
say
they,
you,
you know how long they were married?
no, I don't know that. But even if it was just a year,
Right.
I would assess that it's more than a year they've been married.
Okay.
It could be 2 or more. But when you get to a point as a man to decide to dedicate, if you really take this marriage thing serious, that you're going to make this the one you be loyal to. Loyalty for men and women is different.
Right.
Loyal to it means I'll sacrifice my body to save you. I'll sacrifice my body to make a living for you.
Right.
I will protect you at all costs. That's where loyalty is. Where my money goes is where my loyalty is. That's how men think. It has nothing to do with like sex like women think. When a woman is loyal, she has no sex with no other man but you.
Right.
You're the provider. We're different. Okay? That's where her loyalty lies.
Right.
So I'll process it because I'll be devastated that I chose to love this woman and not in love. I'm a little different. I'm not quite built like most of the guys. I've been there before with that so-called in love, that too emotional thing. That's men, in my opinion, don't need to be at that point.
Right.
Because actually we become less desirable to the woman when we're in love. Women are supposed to be in love. They're supposed to be into you more than you into them. So again, where my love lies, where I decided I'm going to risk it all to marry you and provide for you.
Right.
And then you tell me this. After that 5 minutes, and this is your dying request, I'll be like, bitch, die. Bitch, die.
Okay.
You just spat in my face. Do you know that tells me you're not really that in love with me? You'd rather have the last memory before you go out is the man that rocked your world. And probably you were in love with him to a certain degree.
Right.
To want him to fuck you instead of me. You're supposed to go to the vows and all that stuff. That's why for the most part, I think marriage is bullshit in a lot of ways. Because a lot of these women they're not ready for marriage. These westernized modern women. It's just a fling for them. It would put in perspective that this woman just I was the best thing she could get. That's what it tells me.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously whatever happened with she and the ex, if she still wants to have sex with him before she dies, she's not wanting her loving. Yeah. She doesn't want me to even have sex with her before she dies.
She wants to do it with her ex. Yeah.
She'd rather go out with a real bang. Think about that.
Right?
That's on so many levels, that's insulting.
It is.
That's humiliating. It's devastating. It's traumatic. It will take me 5 minutes to process it, then I'll tell her, bitch, die.
Die.
You could go fuck him. and figure out somebody else to take care of your health until your last few days left. You may have 365 days. You may have double that.
Right.
But you're going to be under somebody else. You better hope that he wants to fuck you and want to take care of you.
Right.
Because I'm done.
Right.
I just died. And I'm got to move on to my next life now.
Okay. All right. Well,
that's the alpha widow. Explaining the alpha widow, basically, when a woman has sex, too many sexual partners, they have an innate inability to pair bond with a man. They become so confused and so conflicted. It's too much sexual energy, too much of different men's energy going in them. Right. That's why I believe it also impacts their offspring. Even if you just have kids with the one man, the one that you decide to marry, that offspring is going to be carrying the energy of those men that have been within you. I truly believe that. It's a spiritual energy.
And you made mention, and we're past the 20-minute mark. So, but okay. And we'll go on to the next one. But you made mention that the limit for you is what number when it comes to?
For me, yeah, even in these modern times, if a woman has more than my number for me to take her serious, I'll give her 3.
You give her 3?
And I'll be the 4th.
You be the 4th. Okay.
Mm-hmm. If anything more than that, I can't deal with her.
But let me ask you this: do you think that these women who have these high body counts are actually telling the truth to whoever it is that they're encountering? Do you think that they are saying that they've had that high? How many do you think
women deep down inside, there's a coding in them that they know when they're, except for the ones who are really mentally messed up because they weren't raised correctly with a good solid mother to give them a foundation and father to guide them. Even if the father's not in the home, if they have the father in their life, can't talk about the ones whose father's not in their life. And that's a very high percentage of the Black community, the American Black community especially.
Right.
But I think that these women who have high body counts, who've bought into the modern mindset of liberated free sex and have as much as I want, they're damaged. They're damaged goods. They're destroyed. They're mentally gone, because if you think that you can have as much sex as a man, so automatically, in my opinion, most of the modern women who are under 35, if I was to guess, make a guesstimation, have had at least 10 sexual partners.
Right.
And I'm being kind there.
That would be my number 2. That would be my number 2. That'd be right at that 10 mark would be the case. Yeah.
That's already destroyed. She's done. She has no ability to pair bond. I could speak of an ex of mine. She had, and at the time she was 21, and she had already had 6 partners.
Wow. At 21. Okay.
Yeah. I want to say 5 or 6. I either made number 6 or number 7.
Okay. Well, again, for those who probably have those high body counts, I don't think they're telling the truth. I doubt very seriously that they are admitting that they have and the real number, right? They might tell you, oh, it's only been a few, or it's only been 4, or it's only been whatever, right? But in actuality, they probably stacked them, right? But, and I was telling you before, how were you to know? How are you to know that they're not lying when it comes to this body count, right? What would be your tell, aside from, I'm just going to be real here, falling in, okay?
Need a lifesaver, life raft.
you need to strap a board on your back. You know what I'm saying?
Because they're so gutted out. They like the Holland Tunnel. There's
Right, right. Like I was watching goodness, I was watching um Predator the other day, right? Great Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, right? And one of the dudes in there, he keeps on telling these jokes to one of the other dudes, right?
right.
And these are like female jokes or jokes about women, right?
Mhm.
And he tells us one joke, and the guy doesn't laugh. He's like, he has no
No emotion.
that's the callers. But he tells his other joke to him. He said he goes to his wife and he says that man, you got a big P. Man, you got a big P, right?
Mhm.
And she tells him, why did you say it twice? He said, I didn't. And
Oh.
just like you said, the dude who didn't laugh, he laughed his ass off. I mean, he was like, "Oh my god!" It was that funny to him because of the way that he finally got it. There's an echo up in this piece. All right, so if that's the only way that you basically would know, because
Yeah.
it's that damaged, I guess. But again, I don't think there's any one of them would tell you the truth. I think whatever that number is, double it. Whatever
I would agree.
whatever that number is, if they tell you 2, you know it's like 4 or 5. If they tell you 5, you know it's like 10, 12, whatever that is, right? They're not going to tell you the real number. Come on.
Not a traditional woman.
Nah.
I mean, sorry, not a modern woman. A modern westernized woman won't. Okay. I believe traditional women, a higher percentage would. More than 50% would. Because a traditional woman is a respectable woman. And they want to be their desire is to be feminine as possible, cooperative, agreeable, fit.
Right.
Some of them maybe not as fit, but they will still try to do everything to please their man, to have a family, to live within their genetic coding, their nature.
Okay.
Modern women, no.
Okay.
Modern women, no. There'll be a very low percentage, I'll be honest. And you don't want to hear it. There was a chick I dated for a brief moment, maybe a week or 2. And this was years ago. This was probably back in.
Okay, well, wait, this is not story time for you. Remember, you have a time. We're gonna have another segment.
Okay.
Where you're gonna do your stories, because you got a whole lot of them. So we'll do that at another time. But now we're gonna move on. Okay.
Okay. Let's move forward.
The first part we covered was these alpha widows. You told us, you gave us an example. This whole situation with her, this lady who's dying and her dying wish. That's really messed up. Okay, I get that, right? I'm just saying, how many of these women, just based on the body count, I don't think any of them are going to tell you the truth. I really don't. And if
not an alpha widow for certain wouldn't. Well, I won't say for certain. Some may admit it because they some may still get a conscience as damaged as they are. They want to be with to settle down with someone. They want to have children.
Okay, that's fine.
But the time has gone past. So, but they want to find a good dude. So they will come clean with a good dude if he puts them on the spot. But most good dudes who are sensible and not simp,
right,
and not weak,
right,
won't even entertain. They don't even want to hear it.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the, and again, we'll go on to the next one after this. That's the thing about telling them the truth. If they run the risk of telling them the truth that they got a high body count, dude be like, sorry.
Well, here's the thing too. This is one thing that people I think are really missing.
Mm-hmm.
A good dude who wants a traditional woman is not going to be around long enough to even have this conversation with the alpha widow who's a modern female.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a heightened sense of awareness, you may just smash and pass, or
Right.
smash and move on.
Right.
If you're looking for a
Smash and dash. Smash and dash.
Smash
Right.
and dash.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a good woman, you'll
Mm-hmm.
know. Even the younger guys will know she's for the streets immediately.
Okay.
There's too many. A woman who's for the streets, and these alpha widows, they're not going to just change and become traditional. They're not.
Okay.
They're set in their ways.
Okay. No,
I'm not saying they can. I'm not saying they can't change, but it's going to take a while to undo and unlearn a condition that you've embraced for several years.
True. That's I would agree with that. It's not an on and off switch. Like for us it's on and off. It's like on off. For them, no, not at all. So
once they're damaged like that, they're damaged goods, and it's going to take a lot of therapy and healing to become just a halfway decent woman.
Right. Okay. Well, that being the case, we're going to move on to this next thing that happened. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to set this up. All right. So everyone knows the name Brittany Renner. If you don't know, Google it. Okay. Look up Brittany Renner. This chick is, I don't know. I can't place her in terms of where she is. Well, anyway, she was on a podcast, and I don't remember the name of the podcast, just like you would have, but I wound up seeing it with Mr. Let Go. Shout out to Mr. Let Go. All right. And she was paired up with him, and they kind of went at it for a minute in terms of the situation that was at hand. And she tried to make her point. Matter of fact, we're going to put a link in this to the actual conversation so you can check it out for yourself. All right. And the mere fact that she was on this podcast with Mr. Let Go and a peanut gallery of folk. All right. She tried to, I guess, make her case on the fact that she's known as a straight up HOE. Okay. And as a result of being that straight up HOE, no one wants to get with her. No one would want to get with her. Mr. Let Go was like saying, hey, at this point in your life, you're just, you're 30 something, whatever. You are a perceived gold digger, okay, because of what you did with the young basketball player that you got with. And again, go look her up. You'll understand this, right? His thing was, you damaged goods, and there's really no one that wants to be with you, let alone, want to engage with you. And she tried to push back. She was like, she tried all this pushback about how it would be something that is a double standard. That is, he made mention to her, on many occasions. You have the box, I have the penis. Okay, and it's like, if more of what I got go into what you got, you damaged goods. You straight up damaged goods, right?
Absolutely.
So she kept on saying that's a double standard. Why is it that, if I slept with 300 men and you slept with 300 women, what's the difference? Of course, Mr. Let Go, huge difference based on the situation. But if it came down to it, when it comes to Brittany Renner and her going about this business now of trying to, I don't even think she's even trying to redeem herself. She has gone even further. She's doubled down, triple down, quadruple down. You know what I'm saying?
She's mentally gone. I just saw her actions in that video.
Yes, and she's saying,
she was illustrating this action with her mouth. You didn't see that?
Yes, I did.
That is what sane woman what self-respecting sane woman is going to do that?
Right.
That's an
No.
obscene gesture. That's not even the right form to. When a man is trying to explain to you, you're having a debate. You're supposed to be having a logical debate. He's trying to explain to you, and you
Right.
start doing that stuff because you don't want to hear it. That's deflection. That's sign language. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right.
Yeah.
Women do it. Modern women do this all the time in different ways. It's disrespectful to the fact when the man is trying to explain to you. Yeah, that's immediate. That's immediately dismissive. You just marginalize the whole conversation, much less his explanation.
Right.
That's interrupting in the rudest way.
Exactly. And so again, they had the peanut gallery that was chiming in on what they were saying. It'd have been better if there was just been Mr. Let Go against her. I would have loved to see just them as opposed to the people that were chiming in next to them, right? But they were on their podcast. It wasn't Mr. Let Go's podcast at the time. So again, shout out to Mr. Let Go. And he held his own. He got into it with her, but he could have went even further. And I didn't see the entire thing. Maybe I should, look at the entire podcast to see that. Yeah. But it's more so where with Brittany Renner, she's damaged goods, and she was trying to prove her case that she's not, right? Prove her case that she wasn't. And it was kind of like somewhat of a gang up, right? Because they got into the plight of marriage, and Mr. Let Go made mention, hey, you know what? When it comes to marriage, we have to say so. We, the men, have to say so, right? We're the one that asks you, right? He said, well, women could ask men. He said, no, they can't. No, they can't. No, that's not the way it goes. Women cannot ask men and then expect an answer from a man and like, really? No.
It's a turnoff for most men. Most men, most self-respecting masculine men, it's a turnoff.
Oh, it's not even a turnoff. Even though Mr. Let Go, he used the B word on that one, man. He was like, no. He had bitch. He's not gonna. He wasn't gonna. And there was somebody in the penal gallery said, nah, that's true. I ain't asking no man to marry me. No, that's not the way it works, right? But
exactly.
The mere fact that was the case is like, well, that's what we control. You control the sex. You women control the sex.
Access to it.
Access to the sex, right? And
we control access to the relationship.
Exactly. So again, they went back and forth. It was something to see. And I wish he would have went in on her a lot more because she deserves it. And a lot of people who she is trying to, I guess, plead her case to, she's not winning. And I think the majority of the audience that is now, I don't know. I don't really know who's for her. Women, men. I don't think anyone's for Brittany Renner in the sense of what she's done. And the fact that she's got she gave a young man an 18-year baby mama sentence in terms of the fact that he's got to pay who knows how much in child support that young man is paying to her. And he can hardly, and from what I'm hearing, he's not allowed to see the child as much. I mean, come on, right? But if you look at it though, some dude is going to be right behind her eventually, taking up that same slot. The same way. And I know this is not part of our segment, but we talked about this. Kim Kardashian and the comedian. What's his name? Pete Townsend, right? Pete
Davidson.
Pete Davidson, right?
Yeah.
They just broke up, right? And so Pete was like, you know what? I'm having fun. I'm just going to run through her and dip, right? And that's basically what he did, right? There was not going to be. She's never. This woman is never going to have another quote unquote serious relationship. All the dudes who are going to be around her are trying to get with her, which she will get another one other than Pete Davidson. It's like they're just going to run through her. It's over for her. It's been over for her for the longest, right? But now that this happened, come on. Kim Kardashian is the epitome of what all of these like I said, modern women are have really that's their go-to person because of all the success that she's had. That part is there. What are we looking at here?
That's the
Heaux. What is that? I'm not familiar.
That's a hoe. That's the French correct way of a hoe.
Okay. Yes.
That's the correct way to spell it. The way you spelled it is a farm tool. This is the correct spelling.
There you go. There you go. My farm tool against your French. Absolutely. But and the fact, I'm coming back to Brittany Renner. The mere fact that she has put herself out there in that manner, she's gone down the line of being Kim Kardashian. All these women have this affection for what Kim Kardashian has done, but no one is going to admit that this is a path of destruction. Doom. This is a path of doom. All of what you see is smoke and mirrors, and all of what they feel is like, oh, she's this, she's that, she's the other. No, she's miserable based on the fact that this is her life now. Okay, this is what she has decided to do, and there's nothing she's gonna do about it. Run through against run through is all she's gonna have for the rest of her life. And she just Kim Kardashian's like just turned. She's like her early 40s or mid to late 30s. She's done. It's over.
She's in her late 30s. She might be early 40s. But here's the thing.
Yeah,
she's a product of her mother. Her mother,
absolutely,
raised whores. Her mother was a whore. Probably still is. She's with this young black man who's probably 20 years younger than her.
Yes.
Kim
is 41, by the way. Kim is 41. Mm-hmm.
Kim set the blueprint in this world of social media, the standard for all whores and hoes to model after.
Yes.
And they think it's okay. We had this discussion before off in private about hypergamy.
Yes.
And I had told you, women who are born into wealth are more susceptible to being doomed more quickly if they're not paired up with a acceptable or suitable mate, like an arranged type of thing.
Right.
Because if you leave them to these modern ways and they're born into money and wealth, they get trashed out. Right. And especially if they're not groomed in a family with values, it's just money, like the Hilton, like the Kardashians.
Yes.
So what happens is they become desensitized to value the wealth that they have or the riches they have. They take it for granted until their innate female instincts kick in and they want to pair bond and they can't because they've been trashed by so many guys. They've been hoed out. And then the entitled ones, when they hit that 30 plus mark, they want to have a guy on a certain financial status, whether it's clout, but he has to be at a certain level. If you're already a billionaire, it's like her. It's all downhill.
So,
Even if you're multi-million.
Why didn't it work? Why didn't it work with her and Kanye?
That's the best she was going to get.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so Kanye was probably the best thing that ever happened to her. And, gave you you had children with this dude, right? The whole thing. Granted, Kanye was not all there, right? But he was trying. I guess.
But that's why they belong together. She's not all this. She's never been all there, bro.
Absolutely. So
she's been sleeping with numerous athletes and celebrities.
Yes.
Nick Cannon to multiple football players to multiple basketball players.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. Kim was the first one, and I have to look at this in terms of her achievement. She's the first one to really take advantage of social media in a way that 15 minutes of fame turned into 15 years of fame.
Oh, and wealth.
Absolutely. So it's like,
not just riches. Once you pass, in my opinion, if you pass the $10 million mark of income, you have graduated into wealth. You're
Exactly.
you're no longer just rich. Rich
Right.
is a lower level than wealthy.
Right. Kim Kardashian showed a whole generation of women, of young girls, what to do based on trying to go into that trajectory. They now model themselves after her. I don't care what anyone say. They model themselves after her based on what she was able to accomplish. And now that she's 41, right? All that she's going to get now is run through dudes. All she's going to get. No one is going to touch her with a 10-foot pole when it comes to being in relationship with her. She will have multiple upon multiple run through dudes who all they're going to care about is hit it and quit it.
She's already at the stage where she's like Erykah Badu. She's like Mary J. Blige. And there's another black celebrity.
Explain both of them compared to Kim Kardashian. I'm confused.
When you have a certain not only social status but financial income status, right?
Right.
And you're older.
Right.
You're out of the 30-year range. You're in the 40+ year range.
Right.
You're a cougar now.
Okay. Got you. All right.
Okay. She's in the same category with them.
Mm-hmm.
They're rich. She's wealthy.
Right.
Okay. But what do they have in common? They've aged out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
They're never going to have a man who's not only not their age group, but even older than them. They will never have another man.
Okay.
Because they're set in their ways. They're modern, masculine, independent, westernized women.
By the way, Pete is 28. She's 41. So yeah, she's already, like you said, cougarhood.
Erykah Badu.
They're all that
25. Way. Erykah Badu is 50 something and dating a 25-year-old.
Right.
And he's a confused, conflicted guy, just like August, who was sleeping with Jada Pinkett.
Yeah, August and Jada. Yes.
These are young, confused, conflicted guys. They have their hair color is pink and red and orange.
Yeah.
They're tatted up. They're young and conflicted.
Right.
But that's the only thing that these type of women can get when you hit that age range. Madonna, same thing. Madonna's been like this for years. Now she has so much plastic surgery. Madonna's in her 60s now?
Yeah.
You see how horrible she looks?
Yeah,
and she's still dating young men?
She does.
Because she pays for that. Kim is at the point now, she has to pay for a guy. What? Basically. Except for stupid ass Kanye West, what self-respecting guy who's in her age bracket, that's her age or older, who's a high earning man who makes an income? She's a billionaire. So you've got to be a billionaire.
Right.
Even if
Kanye was
multi-million.
Kanye was.
Even a multi-millionaire is not going to really qualify. She's going to be above him. He was
that dude, right?
Yeah.
And so now that she's no longer with that dude who she had children with, right?
So that's another part.
So the mere fact that she got run through up until him, right? She was run through by rappers and athletes and all this other. Her whole family is her whole family is like that.
They're garbage. They're gutter people.
Remember her, Reggie Bush, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was supposed to be the dude, the guy, right? Right. So
he was still a fool. He should have never even messed with her.
Well, none of them sure, but they were all mesmerized by this chick. I don't understand why. But if you look at it in terms of where she is now at 41, she's nothing but run through dudes are going to be that. But whether they're older or young, run through dudes. Absolutely. Because who's going to take on Kanye? After Kanye and the kids, what do you got? Right? And she's got more loot. She's got more loot.
That's what you got.
And she's got more loot than most men. So there's no way, right? Who else of that caliber is going to step to her and tell her what for? Nobody.
Brother, if I was even worth 10 million, I don't want to touch it. If I was worth $1 million, I don't want to touch it.
No, you can't even you can't even step to her with 100 million. because she got that. She's worth
but
at
here's
least.
the thing is, she knows that she doesn't have options. That's why she got with Pete Davidson. Pete may be worth a few $1 million. I don't even think Pete's net worth is well, since he started dating her, his net worth went up. He started getting all these commercial deals, sponsorships.
Who?
Pete.
Okay. Yeah, she was his come up. Pete is just being Pete. Pete went from Ariana Grande, right? Remember he was with her?
Yeah.
Okay. And Pete ain't the most good looking dude in the world. I mean, my God.
You couldn't even make out his what people are trying to determine his ethnicities.
Yes.
They thought he was such a weird looking mutt type of white boy.
Yes.
He was not attractive looking.
I don't know if this is right or not, but they're saying that Kim Kardashian's net worth is $1.4 billion.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Is that right?
Rihanna's like right there close with her.
Oh yeah, right. Rihanna's a billionaire. So is Kanye, right? Rihanna's at 1.4. Kanye is right at the two and change. I mean, that being the case, is like, who else is going to step to her? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, and we won't go there. We're going to go hit another subject. But remember, we used to talk all about Janet Jackson. We used to go on this Janet Jackson thing, right? So Janet Jackson had a child at 50 years old. Oh my gosh. Okay. And the dude that gave her the child was a billionaire. Right? She wasn't with no run-of-the-mill dude. Billionaire, 50 years old, have a child. We're talking about geriatric to the hilt in terms of a pregnancy like that. And and from what I'm hearing, I think she carried the child, right? How did that happen?
She must have spent at least $2 to $5 million for that whole process.
Easily. So with that being said, let's switch gears. We're going to switch gears on all of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in the news that just happened, I know you're not as familiar with this, right? Now we went from Brittany Renner. This is Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner, who just got sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison. Okay? If you don't know who Brittany Griner is, look her up. She's a WNBA player who went over to Russia, one, because she wasn't making enough money here in United States. So she got to go to Russia to play ball there because they'll pay her more money. So she's going over to Russia and she bringing some weed oil with you. I don't care if it's medicinal, right? You bringing it to another country, and let alone not just to any other country, just not any country. You bringing it to Russia. Okay, when people were leaving Russia because they knew that there was going to be a pending war, you decided to go to Russia and bring weed oil. Okay, so anyway, fast forward, she gets caught, she gets put in jail, she pleads guilty, they sentence her to 9 years. Okay, now everybody's like, free Britney, right? And in order for her to get out of that mess, there's going to have to be some mess that's already here in terms of a Russian person who's in prison to be swapped out with her. Okay,
right.
Swapped out, as they're gonna literally get this Russian prisoner, and I think they're gonna do 2 for 1. They have another American over there, white guy who's been there for like 3 years or something like that. They're gonna try and do a 2 for 1 deal. But anyway, my thing is, would you let her stay there in prison, or would you do this swap that's probably gonna eventually happen? What would you do?
I'd let her stay in prison.
And most people are saying the same doggone thing, right? It's like you did the crime, go do the time, right? Now, what people are, saying is, and a lot of this was talked about, if it was LeBron James or some NBA player, right? She would have been out already. He would have been out already. They would have went and got him before any of this would have came down. And they're saying it's somewhat of a double standard. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know, because Russia, pretty extreme. They're already not that big on black people.
Right.
So I can't say that. That's a cop-out excuse that modern feminists use when they're always trying to drive home the point they're trying to create about unequal and men have more rights. And no, it's bullshit. Women, we're living in this patriarchy is really an undercover matriarchy. Women have been now more empowered than ever before. That's why the majority of the women are doomed who embrace modern feminist culture.
Mm-hmm.
They're heading down a path of despair.
Right.
This is the ultimate population control. Becoming a modern feminist. Because you're gonna age yourself out the game. You're going to overqualify yourself when it comes to men. All of them think that they deserve high value men, the top 10, 15% of men.
Mm-hmm.
Unrealistic, especially even if it wasn't the high top 10, 15% of earning income earners, they still want the top 15%, which only 15% of the men in the world are 6 feet and over. And they still believe that they deserve that.
6 feet tall.
6 feet tall and
Mm-hmm.
taller.
It's
6
only
feet plus.
15%.
15% of the global population of men.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. And the world has over 4 billion women. I think it's 4.1 billion women.
Mm.
So that means there's the rest of the population is men, which is 3 billion, because the world population is like 7.1 billion, I believe.
Right.
The numbers are not in their favor in any way. And then out of that 7.1 billion, that 4.1 billion women, at least, my brother, 2 billion think they're deserving. The modern mindset women think they're deserving of the top 10 to 15% of men. So they're sleeping with the top 10 or 15% or waiting in line on those guys.
Right.
Leaving all these other men, average earning men, to fend for themselves.
Right. Well, I mean,
that's insanity.
It is, and a lot of them look at that in terms of like, okay, well, this is what they want. This is what they feel as though that they deserve, right? But
then
let me
Britney deserves jail then.
Because
they want to be men. They want to compete with men.
Let's switch it back. Okay, so now that she's over there, she's been sentenced to 9 years. Now the American government has to make this negotiation, see about trying to put this Russian prisoner in play, right, in order to get Britney and this other gentleman over here, which still could take another couple months in order for that to happen, because the mere fact that it's she's there doesn't mean that they're gonna do this switch right away. There's a lot of red tape that's gonna have to happen. She may be languishing in that prison for another month or two before it actually comes out.
The only way they'll get her out quickly is if she was generating a lot of money for America or American interest, high big corporations. If she's generating money, that's the reason why I think they would get that. She's not. I know. That's why I think they would have a valid point by saying
if she was Kim Kardashian, she'd be here already.
Exactly, because she's generating a lot of wealth for a lot of companies and corporations.
Yes,
you understand?
Yes.
Same for LeBron James. Same for Michael Jordan. Same for whoever else.
Right.
That they're trying to compare. But the feminists are trying to guilt the American government and public into thinking that it's best because he's a man.
Right.
No. Let me tell you something right now. They wouldn't give two shits if I was over there.
Oh, hell no.
I'll get less respect than her.
Mm-hmm. Well,
they'll be like,
one of the Ball brothers, him and some dude were in China, someplace and they stole something. They
committed a crime.
shoplifted.
Yeah.
They shoplifted. Well, Trumpito went and got them. Right? Apparently he was cool with
the father.
The
father, LeVar Ball. The father serves a specific agenda, and that's a topic we can turn.
Yeah, well, they got. They didn't stay in. They didn't go to prison. They shoplifted. They didn't go to prison.
Right.
They went and got them.
There was some palms being greased. There was an agenda at hand because the ball boys have to make it to the NBA, and LeVar is serving an agenda, regardless of what. This guy has been the biggest hype man for his sons, and.
But it wasn't LeVar. Actually, it was not LeVar. It was his younger brother. It wasn't LeVar.
No. LeVar is the father.
I'm sorry, LeVar is the father. You're right. The one that was over there though was not one of the more.
No, it's LiAngelo, the one that looks like he's supposed to be a football player.
Yes.
He's slimmed down now.
Yes, that was him. That was the one that was.
He's still kind of making it in the NBA. He lost a lot of weight to get lean to move quicker. Right. He's built like a football player. The other two are built like lanky basketball players.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So
the father has clout. The father has clout.
They got, right? Mm-hmm. And China, from what I'm hearing, could be even worse than Russia. Okay. But and there was no war going on between us and them at the time. There's a war that's going on, Ukraine / us, whatever, right? So they're using this girl, this woman as a leverage piece too, right? And so it's even more messy, way more messy for this Brittany Griner thing, right? And so honestly, based on the situation that's at hand, if I wouldn't want my sister, my wife, my whatever, being in no Russian prison. So my thing is, you did do some form of a crime. You're gonna have to pay sentence here, right? If I snatch you out, you're still gonna have to do something here, whether it's, I don't know, community work, whatever that penalty based on what you did over there, you still did wrong, right? And
correct.
You're gonna have to, make up for some of that on this end. I snatch you out of there, you're gonna have to do something over here. Right. That's the way I see it. I don't want you languishing. I definitely don't let you languish in no foreign prison. Who knows what goes on over there, right? But when I bring you back, you doing, halfway house or community something or whatever that is.
You have to suffer a penalty.
Yes. Because look what we had to give up. Look what we had to give up. We had to give up this dude. This dude that they're gonna give up is like one of the most notorious arms dealers / whatever he is. He should be 10 of her.
Yeah, she's not valuable to the U.S. economy or anything here. So
no, she's not.
But they're being pressured to do this by feminists.
Yes.
Modern feminism.
Yes. And that's apparent. And the mere fact that this is the case, because the guy who's over there, like you said, you talk about me and you. The white guy who they also trying to get, he's been there for like two years, but he's a nobody. He's not the guy that they just got from there no more than earlier this year. He was also a nobody. He went over there, visited his Russian girlfriend. He got drunk. He got inebriated, whatever. They arrested him. Next thing you know, he's in a Russian prison, and they want to sentence him to like 10 years. So they had to do a swap for him. Right? They did a swap for him. So, I mean, the Russians don't play, especially with what went on now that there's a war. They're not playing. So, that being the case. Anyway,
she real quick, to wrap it up.
Right.
She wants to equal rights, being a homosexual woman, lesbian, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
That's the ultimate feminist because they want to be just like a man. They want to compete with men. So you need to serve the punishment that men serve, and that's what the Russians are showing. You want to be a man? Because they don't tolerate that over there.
Oh, they don't
treat you like a man.
They don't
treat you like a man. You want to be equal? We're going to show you what's equal.
That's one of the worst places to be LGBT. Oh my gosh, it is one of the worst. They are that way.
You might come back change and want to be a woman after this is.
I doubt that very seriously. Very seriously. All right, so let's move on to the next one. The next one we got is Kendra G. All right. Your girl Kendra G, right? And we're gonna be doing some more stuff with Kendra, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kendra, all right. You want to set this up, or you want me? How you want to do it?
I'll set it up.
You do. Go ahead.
Kendra has, well, I'm not sure how long her YouTube channel and podcast has been out, but she's been having a lot of topic of conversations of trifling women, modern women, airing out their opinions. And I guess she's also been trying to find out what they're looking for, have sort of a dating show where she can hook them up.
Yes, she has a dating show.
So she's propagating this whole feminist agenda in a different kind of way. She's trying to act as if she's being reformed, but she's out of control. She's another one who's 40, has her eggs frozen because she still hasn't found a man.
Yeah.
Kendra is fine as baby hair. All right.
Ooh, most definitely.
Kendra has a body.
Yes.
The face is super average though.
Yeah.
Kendra wears, you can see the cake makeup that she has on her face. You can see it clear as day.
Right.
She's not ugly. She's just super average. And I hope she hears this. Baby, you are fine. But you aged out the game. You overvalued yourself. Why haven't you had a man? All this fake hair you've been putting on, fake eyelashes, probably fake nails. I don't know that for certain, but I know you've been having a lot of makeup and fake hair.
Right.
And once in a while I caught some fake eyelashes. So where are you? What you are the epitome of a modern, masculine, independent, feminist woman. What's your excuse? I know you've had plenty of men running after you. Her body is pretty much a 9.5 to a 10.
It's there.
It makes up for her face. It brings her face up to at least a 6.
And I think she's natural. I'm almost certain she's natural.
Yeah, I think she is all too.
Natural.
So way more natural. I mean, Kim Kardashian can't put a candle to her. Kim looks.
I know.
And there's nothing appealing about that fake body.
No, but it's not.
Kendra G is delusional still, and she caters to these masculine, modern, feminist women.
Right. But that's her thing. That's her thing, though. That's what she does. Now that she has this dating show, which is nothing but a place of, again, them airing their grievances about men that they were with, that they want, that they can't get, that type of thing, right? And it's kind of depressing whenever you kind of watch it, and they're literally first off they're going on her show similar to what Kevin did, Mr. Samuels did, where you came onto his show, you asked for this advice or whatever his topic was. He wasn't trying to get you to date nobody, right? She's taking it to a different place, saying, I'm gonna try and get you matched up with somebody, which is fake until itself anyway. They're only looking for the attention. They want, because Kendra's show will bring them some form of attention. People are going to try and slide into their DMs, try and get with them in whatever way, but it's more attention, right?
Get my clout.
Yeah. So being on her show is a step up, right? But 9 times out of 10, whenever these women come, and men, matter of fact, she does both. She does men and women, but nobody cares about us. No one cares about the men that go on that show. They just don't. I've not watched. I don't think I've watched one, maybe one or two. I might have watched in terms of seeing that, but majority of it, it's all men. I mean, it's all the women, all of what they want. So, shout out to Kendra and doing her thing, but at the same time, you got to look at it in terms of like, okay, she's making a buck at it, which you got to give it to her. She's making her money from doing that, along with her radio show and other things that she's into. And no doubt this woman has body forever, right?
Right.
But the mere fact that she's probably in her 40s, right?
She's 40. She's 40
She's
on the
40,
dot, on the
right?
nose.
Right. So for 40, she's looking great. She's looking good. But I mean, I think she's going to be Oprah. I think that's the path that she's gonna eventually become. Right. It's going to go down that road of like she gonna find her Stedman, and she ain't gonna get married. Let alone have kids. Okay. She's already past the borderline of that kid thing. Any child she has now will be a geriatric child, right? That's if she has it herself. She might hire a surrogate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kim Kardashian did it for her last two kids, right? So that's the thing. A good majority of them think that, okay, well, I don't have to have the child because like you said, Kendra froze her eggs, so she just put them things in a surrogate, let her do the pregnancy, boom, bang, bing. She's got her kid. She's good. She's good to go.
Yeah. I hope you see this, Kendra. I hope you see this.
We're not on our radar yet. We're gonna have to do a little bit more to get on her radar. Similar to our boy Thon, right?
Thon Lexi, so, shout out to
Thon Lexi. Shout out to Thon Lexi, man.
You have gotten under her skin.
Sure did.
She had to be childish, a petulant child, and immature to show sign language to shame you and say you have a small penis,
right?
Or you should be with because if you did have a big one, you'd be with your woman. That's child. That doesn't even relate. Those don't even go together. Has nothing to. So you're saying any man that either trolls you or comments on your podcast, does commentary on you,
right?
Has a small penis.
That's what she said. And as a result, you got to see it. We'll put the link in the description. Yeah. Go see.
She got triggered. She
sure did.
She had no composure. That shows how immature. At 40 years old, she's acting like 14.
Yes. Go see Thon's
to make those comments.
Go see Thon's rebuttal. We'll put a link in the description. See his rebuttal to Kendra G. It is good to see how he handled the situation.
Yeah, he handled him like a mature man. Even our boy O'Shea Duke Jackson said the same thing. There's no logic in her acting that way to say those things. There's no logic behind that. No, she's butthurt. You know what I'm saying? He's making some coin off of her. Yeah,
and she may eventually shut it down because she can. But if she was smart, she'd continue to do, maybe some kind of battle with him, and do something. I
don't think she can really shut it down. I really don't think she could shut it down because Thon Lexi strikes me as a smart brother. Well,
put it this way: if she gets it reported and flagged, he won't be able to make any coin on it anymore. Is what I'm saying. So he may be able to still keep it up, but unless they flag it to a point of where they're saying that she will eventually tell them to take it down, or he will lose his channel. So that's what you have to deal with.
Well, we can we can leave a link every time. We could start following her and commenting on her.
Yeah,
and we won't suffer those repercussions because we're not going to be showing her video footage. We'll just leave a link for the audience.
Exactly.
For themselves, but I'm definitely going to talk about her.
Oh, but most definitely.
Only as it's relevant. I'm not trying to have so much on her commentary,
right?
Because she's already shown who she is. We're making our own way, our own path with it. But I still give shout out to Thon Lexi.
Yes,
I really commend him on what he's doing. I follow him. He seems to be a good dude. And he definitely sends out the right message. He backs it up with the right message when he puts commentary on her and his critique.
Yes, he's got I like his style in terms of what he's been doing. So we don't necessarily want to go that route in terms of the whole review thing. But you never know. There's some things that we might decide to take a look at. Kendra G we're going to talk about, but we may not review any of her stuff at all.
Right. So it's a case by case basis.
Exactly. So all right. So here's the wrap up. The Alpha Widows, Brittany Renner, Brittany Griner and Kendra G. All right.
Yeah.
So we even sprinkled a little Janet in there, even though I get triggered by her, man. She's been my all-time favorite for all this time, but I can't help it. I can't help it. I can't help it.
That's
You know what I'm
on
saying?
you. That ain't on.
Yes. I can't help
it. I stopped really liking Janet about the time the 2000s hit.
Well,
the 90s was the last bit of Janet for me.
Jermaine Dupri ruined her. That was
No, he didn't. That was an arrangement. He didn't ruin her.
No, he ruined her. He ruined her career. Yes, he did. Jermaine Dupri ruined her career. We won't go there. We'll talk about it another time. That's the dude who ruined her career, and I can show you proof on how that would be. One day we'll do that. All right. Okay. All right. So listen, we appreciate you being with us here on our Genx Gentlemen podcast. We will we would appreciate if you were to like, subscribe, share, save, some points that we made, and comment below. Please comment. Make some comments based on what you thought that Tell had to say regarding these alpha widows. What I had to say about Brittany Griner in terms of her being in prison, all that good stuff. But we would appreciate your support, and we will see you and be with you in the next one. All right, Tell, what you got, bro? What you got?
Basically, I had more steam to let off, but we had too much to cover.
Mm-hmm.
So those of you who want to see me really give more detail, get more explicit, or just candid, as our segment is called, Candid Conversations.
Mm-hmm. Candid Conversation number 1. We're going to have more of these.
Yes. We're going to have longer extents where it won't be like four topics mashed into one. We're just trying to get your appetites a little wet. I'm going to go in on more detail on the likes of alpha widows. I'm going to go in on more detail of Brittany Renner and her type. More in on not so much the Brittany Griner, but more in on the Kendra G types.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna give it to y'all real why these hoes and bitches are the way they are. Okay. that's the way I really feel about it. I was holding back, but these are a lot of them are bitches and hoes. Some may not be. Again, if Kendra G hears this, I think to a certain degree, when she just showed who she is by being petty and childish with her clap back at Thon Lexi, there was no reason to clap back. The guy was speaking candidly and honestly about what you project. You had to be able to take that. He wasn't insulting you. He was just criticizing what you do. He can give us critique. Everybody has to get criticism.
Well, remember, she got her ass handed to her by, the Godfather. You know what I'm saying? Back before he passed on. So that she was butthurt with his conversation. Remember what she did with him?
So then she's butthurt by what I just said.
She did the same thing. But remember, she did the same thing that she did with Thon. She talked about the Kevin Samuel's prowess. Remember that? She was like, well, he may not be, he can't get it up. You know what I'm saying? It's always a penis thing, right? It's like if there's something
why is that always what they have to fall back on?
Right.
That's the only, because they think that's going to cut us deep. She could say anything about my manhood that she wants. She don't know it unless she want to see it. I'll show it to her. Then she could tell me if she think it's small or not.
Well, that's the thing. She felt threatened, butthurt, and that the fact that it happened, she had to go there, and she had to decide that this is the way that she's going to try and come at Kevin and Thon with something that's going to deal with their manhood. What are you going to do?
And she's going to do it with me too. And I could care less because I know what I've got. I know what I'm about. That has nothing to do with it. That won't even faze me. That won't faze me. That's irrelevant.
Not you, but apparently she's done this before. I doubt if this is not the first, second, third time. She's probably done it before in order to try and get back at a man based on the fact that she's saying that whatever it is that she thinks is going to hurt them, that'll be the case because again, those are the things that she's most capable of doing, and it's unfortunate. But anyway,
Yeah.
you're doing the sleepy eye, so we're gonna drop this right now. All right, but it's been it's always fun, man. So let's do this again on the next one. We appreciate you guys being with us. We appreciate you tuning in. We're gonna look at this and decide on whether we're gonna do this format even further. But if you like it, please comment. If you don't, give us or either a like or not. We'll go from there, and we'll take it to the next level in terms of anything else. All right.
It's going to get better, folks. Hit that subscribe button.
Absolutely. Please do. All right. So JB, that's Tell. We are the Genx Gentlemen. This is our podcast, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.